fairytale is when government changed its policy in 2018 to convert a loan scheme to a bursary scheme for students in South Africa. Now that entails that, the poorest of the poor will be funded by the taxpayer to get tertiary education. The nightmare is the way that NSFAS is handling their mandate. Their only mandate is to pay these allowances, book allowances, travel allowances, and living allowances to these poor students, but they are really not performing that well. And for 5 years, the Portfolio Committee on Higher Education did not hold NSFAS to account. There was no consequences for NSFAS, and they are still not performing as they should be. We started to investigate, institutions in higher education way back from 2017, 2018 already. And that led us to the specific tender of direct payment of allowances to students at NSFAS as it is currently being done. We found that some of the questionable service providers, back in the day in Services CETA, for example, are now operating as service providers at NSFAS. And the question is, how can we allow that inexperienced companies like this will handle payouts up to 50 billion rand for a financial year, and they are taking more than R1 billion a year on as fees. One of the big concerns is that the Portfolio Committee failed to get NSFAS to table their 2021-2022 annual report. Without the annual report, it is difficult to see what's the business, and therefore the business of NSFAS is not really transparent. We've also seen that transparency is not high on the agenda of NSFAS. When we submitted our PIA requests almost a year ago, where it was refused to give us insight in certain tenders. So without transparency, it is difficult to know exactly what is going on when an institution like NSFAS has a budget of almost 50 billion rand per year. Recently, we've seen students, participating in protest actions against NSFAS and against especially the direct payment system. There was a march to the union buildings, there was a march and a handover of a memorandum at Parliament. And we see on social media and other sources that the students are really complaining about this direct payment scheme. They do not get their allowances, some of them not at all, some of them very late. And that leads to other problems. Students going hungry, they cannot concentrate on what they're supposed to do, their studies. After the last appearance of NSFAS at the Portfolio Committee in Parliament, we do hope that the Portfolio Committee will now step up and hold NSFAS to account for the failures of the past.